What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Friday Night Live series on the Self-Made Sports Network. I am Slim. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, JT. Once again, with us tonight, we got Young Bakes. Gentlemen, how you guys doing?
Not too bad. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
I'm hanging in
Bakes, how
there.
you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm glad to be on the show tonight.
Yeah, it's a good night for a show. We got a jam-packed episode for you. We do have a special guest that's going to join us here in just a moment. But before we get to that, we're going to go ahead and talk about the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Bakes, why don't you tell me what you're looking for first, and we'll go from there.
Well, I'm looking for us to be successful on Saturday. We play Penn State, 6 o'clock kickoff. I think it's important that we come out and play hard. Offense is efficient, defense getting stops. That's what I'm looking for.
Any
Also, I would like
concern?
to talk a little. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, any concern with kind of the quarterback play, or are you feeling confident with who's kind of stepped into that role?
TJ Latif. He's a four-star prospect, tremendously talented. The pressures of being a starter as a freshman, it could be a really heavy for anyone. So I'm just looking forward to him to just getting comfortable. He's got a lot of first team reps. So I'm just hoping he goes out there and plays nice.
Well, it's going to be a tough challenge, as Mr. Chris Hassel would say, JT, to go to a place like Penn State with a team that's playing so well right now, still ranked in the top 25 in the FPI somehow, by the way.
That's crazy.
Just incredible at 4 and 6, 4 and 6 on the season. Bakes, I know you wanted to talk about this special teams turnaround you guys got going on.
Oh yes, the last few years we've been like dead last in the NCAA and special team yards. This year we've made a complete change. We got Mike Eckler back on the coaching staff. I think that was huge for the Huskers, and it's most definitely showing on special teams this year. Yeah, we had a kick return touchdown a couple weeks ago. I just feel like the energy is live, and I'm just glad about the turnaround in general.
Yeah. Um, you're kind of seeing a thing with Iowa State where special teams has kind of kicked them in the ass a couple times. It's kind of really important that you have that together if you actually want to be a winning program. JT, I know we talk about winning in the margins all the time and kind of made fun of Campbell forever with that sentiment, but he's kind of true, and that's kind of where Nebraska's at right now. Is you got to start winning in the margins, and kind of putting together winning football rather than kind of the bonehead plays that can cost you a game.
Most definitely, it's very important to just be on firing on all cylinders and all phases of the game. I think special
Sure.
teams is just as important as defense and offense.
Absolutely. I mean, you miss kicks, you can't kick. It kind of limits the offense on the field. If you got to get inside the 15 to kick a field goal, it cuts out about 30 yards worth of play that you have, and it can put you in a tight hole really quick if you can't convert when the offense at least can have some success.
Most definitely.
Speaking of offensive success, JT, I know you wanted to hit on this tonight. Kind of,
Yeah, I can jump in here.
Pick
Yes.
Bakes' mind, and then Bakes, I know you got something to say on this too. So I'm gonna give you to the floor and
Yeah, so obviously there's a little bit of Nebraska recruiting news this week, and that's Dylan Raiola's younger brother, who had committed to Nebraska, Dayton Raiola, actually decommitted from Nebraska. Now, from what I understand, Dayton wasn't quite the highly touted prospect as Dylan was. I could be wrong on that. I haven't done a whole lot of digging into Dayton Raiola's performance, but I'm curious what Vic thinks. If it's just a situation where maybe the younger Raiola just doesn't think he's going to see the field quick enough, or maybe he's looking for opportunity elsewhere, or is it a sign of something deeper? Maybe Matt Rule is going to be on the move. I'm just curious what a Nebraska fan thinks about this news.
No doubt. I'll start by saying Dayton is a 3-star athlete out of Georgia. His brother was a 5-star. So there's a huge difference in the talent between the brothers.
Hmm.
I think the main reason why he decommitted is because his brother is his future is uncertain, especially with TJ Latif coming in and performing very well right now. So it's a lot in the air right now. There's stories saying that Raiola is not even going to come back next year. It is going to be tough for Dayton to see the field, especially with TJ Latif playing well. And if he's the next man up, and then we got another 4-star recruit coming in. So with him being a 3-star and being the third or fourth quarterback, yeah, I can understand why he transferred. But I don't think Matt
Yeah.
Rule's going to go anywhere.
Okay.
He just signed an extension, and he loves Nebraska. His family loves Nebraska. So it's a
Yeah,
lot
and I
going
think
on
that
with that, but
I think you make some good points, because I think that's probably the most logical situation is that, obviously you've got the older Iola, who's I think still a sophomore, right? So he's got, but I
mhm,
guess potentially a few
Yes.
years left in him. Like you said, it's possible that he could be on the move just with how things are. And even if he's gone, exactly like you said, this new guy, this freshman Latif is starting to kind of show out a little bit, and he's a true freshman, or he's a freshman. I don't know if he's a true freshman, but yeah, I guess that's probably the most logical argument, is that it's probably, if he's a class of 2026 guy, so I guess that's means he'll be on campus next year. He's looking at 3 years uh before even seeing the field, and
correct.
obviously that's a majority of your career. So
Kind
yeah,
of
I
Yeah,
a
think probably
kind of a
the
JJ Cole situation.
yeah, where basically you're the next in line, but you're not going to be next. Your number's not going to be called for a few years.
yeah. But there's a strong chance that he might come back. He just opened up his recruiting back up. He still may fall to Nebraska. But I think it's a lot of it is tied to what his brother is going to do. Does he go to USC as a transfer? Does he stay at Nebraska, compete with Latif, and just show Latif that he is the man? So yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty right now at the quarterback position.
How solid is your offensive line?
To be honest with you, I think they're playing above their actual talent right now.
So Dominic's job is safe.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, yeah, because that could be another factor that, if Unk goes, then nephew's gonna go too, and then the other nephew's gonna, decommit, go somewhere else. So I
Yeah,
was just curious as to how they've played this year.
I feel like early in the season they played up and down, but we're having a bye week. Everyone's fresh. We got a lot of players coming back from injuries, so I think that most definitely plays a huge part, keeping them fresh. Nice rotation. Anytime someone got injured, someone's the next man up mentality. I
Yeah,
think that's important
that's
to be
kind
a
of a
successful offensive line.
That's kind of an interesting point though, because that's what I didn't know the specifics, but I knew that the Raiolas are, kind of a legacy name in Nebraska. So
Yeah.
that's kind of maybe raises some eyebrows to see Dayton decommit, and also makes you kind of wonder why the older Raiola might want to leave, since obviously the family is so entrenched in Nebraska. It's just kind of hard to picture him playing anywhere else.
Yeah, he's still a young man, and once he got injured, it's almost like everyone was like TJ Latif, TJ Latif, and you don't necessarily know how Raiola was feeling like that,
Mhm.
especially with being injured and not knowing like how long is it, just coming straight out of surgery. That's got to be tough to see someone else come in at your position and actually perform really, really well.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it can be kind of detrimental to your mentals if you're kind of seeing your backup out there
Yeah,
showing out, especially when you're not
yes,
really able
sir.
to kind of rebut and improve yourself again.
Yes, sir.
I guess that's kind of all I wanted to talk about on that. So I think there's, if you want to, you can kind of read into it, but it's probably not quite as sexy of a story as the headline shows. So I guess we'll kind of have to see
No,
if Dylan ends up going anywhere.
I really hope that Dylan stays. I think it's important that he does. He came to Nebraska to change the culture, to light a fire under Nebraska football. He's done an amazing job helping recruit, bringing in a lot of people on visits and showing them the city, walking them through the stadium. I think that's just very, very important to have a 5-star. Bring in more 5 and 4 stars. I think that helps the program out a lot. And if he
I think
does
it's
leave, I think it'll really harm Nebraska and what we got going on right now.
I think that extension that he signed with that larger buyout, I think that kind of really kind of buys him a little more time and shows how committed they are to him, or at least if you're going to try and poach him, like you're going to have to pay for him.
Yeah, because I mean,
Hmm.
you're talking about Rule, right? Just
Yeah.
yeah, it's like because that's exactly what he did at Baylor, right? He signed an extension at Baylor, and then a couple months, I believe, just a couple months later, he shipped off to Carolina to coach the Panthers. So obviously, with this college coaching carousel, the extension doesn't quite mean as much as you think at the surface level. But I do think in Rule's situation, it probably it does mean that he's interested in sticking around. Like you said, it's clear that he likes it there. It's clear that his family likes it there. Um, it should just be interesting to see if Penn State's able to pull it. But I don't think that. I think that ship has kind of sailed. It seems like those rumors have kind of dwindled down. It seems like Penn State's kind of uh, aiming their focus elsewhere when it comes to their next head football coach.
Yeah.
I guess I'll end it with this here, and then we can move on. I was talking to a guy last week while at work, customer of the company I work for, big Husker fan. He was kind of asking me about the Rule situation, and I just kind of told him, "Hey, man, I'm an Iowa State fan. I hate the fact that Campbell's name comes up every year, but if your coach does come up every year for the bigger jobs, and I mean that means you have the right guy in place for what you're trying to do. So as bad as you think it is, it's almost a good thing that someone's coming in trying to steal your guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better than the alternative. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, nobody wants him. Then what are you doing with him?
Yeah.
All publicity is good publicity.
Well, all right, gentlemen. I've been kind of teasing a special guest tonight. this gentleman told me last Saturday if the Rams happened to beat the Seahawks, that he would call in and join us on the program tonight. Before I give him a chance to speak, I want to go ahead and play a little video for everybody real quick. I think it's something y'all need to see.
Where's D Will at, man? D Will got one. D Will, great job. Where's the land shark? Awesome job right there. You know what, man? I'm so proud of you guys, all right? Hey, how about this? 1,000th career catch right there. Devontae Adams. Hey, let me tell you this. This is a great example of being able to pick one another up. Hey, how about Ethan Evans putting it on the
All right. With that being said, I don't know how you couldn't be fired up after a win like that, and then your head coach comes in with that type of fire. Without further ado, I would like to introduce my father, Mr. Matthew Roberts, to the program. He is calling in from Des Moines, Iowa tonight. Dad, how you doing?
I'm doing good, guys. How's everybody doing tonight?
How's it going, Matt?
We're doing pretty good.
We're doing good. I'm gonna kind of throw a couple questions at you to kind of get your take on the Rams and how they're doing. First of all, how about this offense? Kind of bouncing back from a couple abysmal years and what they've kind of turned into.
Yeah, I think the big acquisition of Devontae Adams this year for that second receiver spot behind Puka Nacua, that's made all the difference in the world, I think. Cooper Kupp is as great as he was. The injuries and everything were kind of catching up with him. But Devontae has been, as everybody knows, with the Packers and even with the Jets, that guy, he's a baller. He can play. And it was only a matter of time before Stafford got connections with him, even with all the back problems that Stafford had in the preseason and not practicing and all that. But I think that's been the biggest difference. You get Devontae down the red zone, get him one-on-one with anybody, and he'll win. I think that's the biggest difference this year.
You've kind of really seen it with the breakout game with the 3 touchdowns a couple of weeks ago. He's not always the guy that they go to. Like you said, they got Nacua as well that they can go to. And then obviously Corum's kind of come on as a running back behind Williams. So they almost kind of have a 2-headed monster with those 2 guys now. And then just I've been kind of really impressed with the offensive line. It seems like every year you don't know what your team's going to bring in with an offensive line. You know, you think it's going to be good, and then injuries happen, and team just kind of really falls apart after that. They've looked really strong across the board on offense, and then on the defensive side, just being able to replace a guy like Donald. What's kind of really stood out to you on that end of the field this year?
I think the biggest thing is Jared Verse and Byron Young on the defensive end, the rush edge guys. Those 2 guys have really picked up the slack with Donald retiring, and they've made a huge difference. And I think Jared Verse gets a lot of the attention and respect, as well he should. But Byron Young, he's kind of an unsung hero on that defensive line. I believe he's got maybe around 7.5, 8 sacks on the year, which is very solid on that other side. And then the biggest thing, I think, on the defensive side is they picked up Nate Landman, middle linebacker. That dude, he can ball. I mean, he's got that punch knocking the ball out with a punch. He's got that technique down to a T, and he's made a huge difference as well on that defensive side of the ball.
The one thing that kind of stood out to me last week against the Seahawks is they kind of really shut down that passing game they have. Yeah, JSN kind of still got his numbers, but when you're the number one receiver in the league, you're going to get numbers regardless. But they just didn't really have the impact plays, and then kind of sealing it there towards the end. I don't know about you, but me personally, I just kind of had a really good feeling that last drive as the Seahawks were kind of driving down the field that it didn't really matter what was going to happen. They were either going to miss the kick or something was going to happen, and the Rams were going to somehow pull it out.
Yeah, the punt that ended up on the half-yard line.
Incredible.
That was incredible. That was probably the punt of the year so far. That was big. If he doesn't do that, the Seahawks may get into a better field goal position. And their kicker, he's one of the best in the league. He doesn't miss from inside 50, let alone inside 55. We were fortunate it was a 61-yard kick. But, the defensive, the backfield there as well, the defensive backfield with Cam Curl and Kitchens. I mean, those guys, they're playmakers. They're ball hawks, and which I think they showed with 4 picks on the day from Darnold. And they got Darnold seeing ghosts again, which is a good thing.
Absolutely. The video I played before we brought you on, I don't know if you heard it or not, but it was the post game speech as McVay came into the locker room. He pointed out the 4 interceptions. He pointed out the punt. Pointed out Adams. Pretty much covered all the bases you did. I mean, those are your guys. They're gonna get it done. And you told me something today that I didn't know about the Super Bowl. Why don't you go ahead and fill these guys in on what you found out?
Yes. I think, what I heard today was on ESPN Bet. The Rams are the betting favorite right now to be the Super Bowl champs. They're in the top dog spot right now. But they're still counting this week. You still got 7 weeks to go. There's a lot of football yet to be played. But as of right now, the Rams are the favorite right now to be the top dog.
I think they got to get that 1 seed.
Yeah, that'll be huge. You don't want to have to go back into Philly and play in the snow, or whatever, or going to, any other stadium. But if they could get the home field, that'd be huge. But like I said, there's a lot of football left. They still got to play the Lions. They got to go to Seattle. There's a long way to go.
Yeah, it's it's going to be interesting. It's hard to believe we're at the halfway point in the season already. I really can't believe it. And kind of technically we're past the halfway point. This season just kind of seems like it's kind of come and gone.
I would totally agree. Yeah, it's flying by. I mean, college football, we're looking at the last 2-3 weeks here, and the NFL's got 7 weeks left, starting with this weekend. Yeah, the season flies by as usual, which is never good, not fun.
Especially in fantasy.
And that too. Exactly. I mean, it just goes so fast. It's a short season.
Dad, I'm not gonna hold you too long here. One more thing before I let you go. How is your fantasy team doing? Why don't you go ahead and fill everybody in and kind of go ahead and rub my face in it, because you're definitely kicking the shit out of me in the league right now.
Well, you are the defending champ, which that's never a bad thing. But we're hanging around 500. The last 3 weeks have been tough. Had some tough matchups, and guys haven't been performing. But we're right there in the playoff hunt. So we'll see what happens. We got 3 weeks left before the maybe 3-4 weeks left before the playoffs start.
Yeah, I think it's 3 weeks. Not enough weeks for me.
sitting at 500, maybe a couple games out of the last playoff spot, 6 spots out of 12. So we're hanging around. So we'll see what happens.
Well, we're putting all our eggs in your basket right now because I'm currently 2-13 or 2-14 in the last 8 weeks. So, we're gonna put our chips in your basket this year. Dad, I really appreciate you coming on. This is kind of a bet that you made for yourself.
It is, yes. Yep.
Really glad to have you on. I know the guys are glad to have you on. Appreciate your time. Go ahead and tell Uncle Kurt for me. Go Cyclones. It's a Cyclone state.
I will do that. He might be listening right now to hear that.
I hope so.
And that is a true statement. I'm not going to lie.
You probably hear him yelling right about now if that's the case with that little delay we got.
Yeah, exactly, buddy.
Well,
All right. It's good talking to you, man.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for coming on, Dad. Love you, and I'll see you here in a couple days.
Yep. Yeah, love you.
All right, Mr. Roberts.
Thanks, bud.
All right.
See you, Matt.
Thanks, Dad.
Have a good night, guys.
See ya.
Well, gentlemen, he kind of took us into our next topic here. I actually, you know what, JT, you brought this up. Why don't we go ahead and check this out real quick? Oh, there we go. Look at that. Little production issue here. Why don't we try that again real quick? You are looking at your Cyclone football helmets for this weekend. Bakes, thoughts on these helmets?
I think they're very, very cool. Very, very fresh. Looking crispy. I would say that white one is way too cool.
Yeah, that's what they're going to be wearing for Senior Day this week.
That's nice.
It's officially been 1 year, JT. I don't know if you've seen this. It's officially been 1 year since the iState logo has been seen on almost any major Iowa State uniform. I don't know if you picked up on it a couple weeks ago, but Chris Williams made a comment saying that they were trying to get some gear put together, and I guess they have a new trademark company working for Iowa State, and they told them to go ahead and don't put anything out with that block logo on it. So I think
it's kind of been clear that they're trying to get rid of that logo like through attrition. Like obviously, I don't think Jamie Pollard is a numbers guy. He's an accounting guy. He doesn't see the value in spending all the money to if he wants to take it off the Jacobson building or take it off the Bergstrom building, or change the logo that goes on the center.
I don't think you got to do all that,
Well, no, and that's what I mean, though. It's just that I know a lot of people want to completely get rid of it, but it costs a lot of money because that iState logo is in a lot of different places. It's in the center court of Hilton Coliseum,
right?
It costs money, so that's why I like what they're doing here, where it seems like maybe they're getting rid of it through attrition. Where if they're needing some more helmet stickers, they're going in a different direction. So yeah, I think it's cool. It's a fun variety. It'd be interesting to see if they go with the cyanado more in the future. Just obviously the Cyclones is nice. Sometimes it's kind of small on the helmet. It doesn't take up a whole lot of the helmet, and it's kind of hard. It doesn't really pop in person like the iState logo did. So it's just nice to have those options. And I know it brings a lot of nostalgic feelings to Cyclone fans of old.
Yeah, they I think so. They Pollard came out and said that the iState block logo originally was to be a branding like a branding asset. It wasn't, I don't think it was ever meant to be kind of the logo. And I think they kind of found themselves in a spot where they just kind of got lazy with it, for 5 or 6 years. And I mean, God, you remember the couple years where they looked like USC from the Midwest.
Yeah.
with
Yes,
kind
I
of
was
the
going to
colors
mention
that they
that.
wore.
That was crazy.
Yeah,
Out of
that
nowhere.
and
But I did like those jerseys when you guys originally switched.
yeah, the
I did
jerseys
like
were
that.
nice, but the team was kind of ass at that point. So
Yeah.
that kind of like made the joke a little cruel because that was around the time where USC was kind of still riding on the high horse, no pun intended. But yeah, then you got Iowa State going 3-9, looking just like them. I think coincidentally they wore those uniforms the night they beat Okie State to destroy college football. But yeah, that logo was never meant to be kind of like the face of what they are, but they've done really such a good job of kind of building programs that mean something and matter and have value, that now you have to look elsewhere to improve the brand and kind of grow. And it doesn't go without mentioning that if that's what we're bitching about half the time is the damn logo on the helmet, then I don't really know how bad life could really be at that point if that's what we're gonna pick the die on.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, and I don't know. I guess I don't know the whole story of whether or not the logo is meant to be what. I mean, it seemed to me like they thought they wanted it to be the primary mark. I remember seeing the whole reveal of it on the news and things like that. It's just, yeah, it never made a whole lot of sense.
I
'Cause,
saw
like,
that video today.
on the when you think of the 3 words Iowa State Cyclones, they focused on kind of the least important part of those 3 words when it came to what's on their logo. And I think I I feel like I've heard Williams say there was some trying to get some momentum towards like how Kansas State is so colloquially known as K-State. Maybe trying. I think they're trying to garner some attention there. Obviously, it didn't really work. So yeah, like I said, I like I like the pivot. I didn't hate the I State logo as much as other people did. I just it just kind of is what it was. It was the logo kind of most of my life if you think about it.
Yep.
So it just kind of is what it is. So, but it's cool that they're branching out a little bit.
Yeah, I never really had a problem with the logo either. I mean, I thought it looked cool on sweatshirts and whatnot, but like you said, we were 12, 13, 14 years old when that first came out. So what the hell do we know at that point? I mean, Nebraska's got a giant N, so
That's tradition.
Yeah, that's tradition. That's
hey, well, we're trying to build that over here.
They don't
We
like to switch it up too much.
Yeah, trust me. But at least you guys got alcohol in the stadium, so you got that going for you.
Oh yes, and technically we are leading the nation in alcohol sales.
I seen that. I didn't see that. You're also leading the nation in runs of sales as well.
Yes.
JT,
Nebraska staple.
we're gonna go ahead and kind of push this along here. This is the second week in a row that we've kind of had to push the start time back because you had more pressing matters. Clearly in a much better mood this week because we didn't have to lead off with them. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about the Drake Bulldogs tonight?
Yeah, so I mean, it was a nice little get right game at home for the Bulldogs. They knocked off Buena Vista. It was it's just a D3 school here in Storm Lake, Iowa. A little bit of trouble to start. Buena Vista actually led through the first 2 media timeouts, but I know it can be kind of tough for it sounds kind of weird, but it can be tough for a really good team to adjust playing against a really bad team, especially with the size differential. So it kind of was what it was, but yeah, I thought that it was nice. You just kind of like we were talking about before the show started. I mean, it's not a sexy opponent, but it was just nice to see the team do what it needed to do against a really bad team. They just about put doubled them up. It was basically like 98 something to 48 something. So that was nice. But really, what the highlight was for Drake basketball this week is that they actually got a big win on the road on Monday against the College of Charleston, who's a pretty legit mid-major team. They have a really good coach in Chris Mack, who coached at Xavier for a little bit before heading off to Charleston. So it seems like maybe the Bulldogs are bouncing back a little bit. It's kind of funny. It really how wacky these schedules can get. Where Drake today is playing a Division III team from Storm Lake, Iowa, and then a week from today they have to play LSU. So they're certainly gonna the rubber's gonna hit the road next week, where Drake has to face an SEC team. So I guess we'll just kind of have to see how that goes, and that's about all I got on them. And Josh, I think
I seen you guys were
yeah, go ahead.
going to be favored to win the Valley.
Yeah, I don't know where the numbers are now, but we definitely were at the top half. We're kind of in the mix, so yeah, they definitely should have a fighting shot. I know that teams like Murray State and Illinois State will have something to say about it, but God willing, to be right there at the top. Josh, did you want to pivot over to?
Hey, coming in better late than never.
Yeah. There's your score. 98 to 98.
Better late than never.
Just about.
Better late than never. I got that score up there for you.
Yeah. So
the other
yeah,
BYU.
it was good. Well, BVU.
BVU, whatever. Kind of like HPVU.
What?
What are you talking about?
Hey, they can't all land. Well, why don't we stay with kind of the theme of teams that have played somebody with a pulse? I know you said College of Charleston, but compared to who Iowa State played on Monday, I'd say Nebraska has definitely had a kind of a bigger time here in the last couple of weeks. Bakes, I know you've seen the game on Saturday in the Pentagon. Incredible, by the way. They just seemed like they couldn't miss for almost 15 minutes in the second half.
Yeah. I think when we went at half down and then we came back in the second half and we really just kind of buckled down and fought our way through the game, and it was very, very, very nice to see us walk away with the win.
Well, I don't know if
defense. We played efficient on offense.
I don't really know if you need to fight to a victory if you can't miss. There was probably a 10-minute stretch. There was probably a 10-minute stretch where it seemed like any time that a Husker player shot the ball, it looked like it was going to go in as soon as it left their hand. I know I told you
those guys are confident.
Mast has a really nice stroke. Pause.
No, yeah, Max is a good player. I've had to watch him.
You would think he's a 3-point shooter, but he can do some special things. Then you got the
Connor Easogen coming off the bench, our 6th man. He's got a really nice stroke.
You just kind of feel like
Nebraska's locked in a good game with the Tang gang, the boys from Manhattan, Kansas.
God,
that's on.
Yeah,
that's
Kansas right now. It's all knotted up, 56.
Yeah,
and we're gonna have to throw that on the TV here.
It's on Peacock.
Oh, never mind then. We're not gonna throw that on the TV here.
Ironically, last night at New Mexico, their point guard, Dayton Aubrey, punched Connor Easogen in the back of the head. Very, very dirty play. He was ejected from the game. I think he was
what was
frustrated.
that all about?
Nebraska was taking it to him early. As soon as Connor got subbed in the game, he knocked down 2 consecutive threes, showed some mid-range game. And then he got punched in the back of the head for it.
Is he like your guys' Cade Kelderman? Because I can't imagine. I mean, they only lost by 12. How bad could it have possibly been to the point where you want to punch somebody in the back of the head?
It was like 26-5 at one point.
Oh. Okay,
Yeah.
well that all right. Well, maybe control your emotions a little more.
I think you
That
have to in these situations.
That's kind of like the Jamar Chase and the spitting incident or Spitgate, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, no man should ever spit on another man.
No, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says he wasn't spitting on him. He was spitting towards the ground. I've seen the video a couple times. It looks like it was a pretty weak shot, but at the same time, like you probably shouldn't spit in someone's general direction when you're 2 feet away from them. I mean, I'm going to assume that you're spitting at me if that's the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's blatant disrespect.
Well,
There's
once
no
again,
need for
3-8. 3-8, you got nothing else going for you. But hey, you're making $30 million. So it can't all be bad, right?
Yeah, but he makes that money to catch the ball, not to spit on people.
This is very true. That's right. The NFL is going to reclaim some of that money. Let's talk Wooden Award and Wooden Watch List right now. JT, you've seen him in person with me, and maybe one of the best games he's ever played as a Cyclone. There was a certain point in the second half where it just looked like he was unstoppable across the board. You and I both kind of got the same info about what they're trying to do on defense this year with the freshman Torre. I want you to kind of fill everybody in on the new strategy and why Lipsy's looking as fresh and as spry as he is right now.
Yeah, so essentially it was reported that one of the reasons why Killian Torre is staying in the lineup is that Torre is going to be the primary on-ball defender, the guy who's going to fight through screens is what Chris Williams was reporting from Cyclone Fanatic, which can be a really grueling job and kind of makes sense now that was the reason that Tamin Lipsy was getting so banged up, is that he was the primary on-ball defender, and it can really take a toll on your shoulders, having to go through those screens and kind of something that Williams didn't really talk about, but you can kind of extrapolate, is that if Torre is the primary on-ball defender, that of course means that Lipsy is off ball, and it allows him to do some more things in the passing lanes. I think you're really starting to see him get those kind of pick six plays in the backcourt. So yeah, I think Tamin kind of overall, Tamin Lipsy has looked about as good as he's ever looked. He looks about as healthy as he's ever looked, and it's clear. While I know earlier on in the season I was a little skeptical at the minutes that Otzelberger was throwing at Lipsy, but now it kind of makes sense that maybe those minutes aren't quite as high stress as they used to be, and it allows them to keep for TJ Otzelberger to keep Tamin Lipsy out there for a longer period of time, just because he knows it's not going to be such a grueling assignment. So, and I guess it's not really that new of a concept. You know, if you have a really good offensive guy, you might put him on a weaker defender, weaker shooter on the defensive side of things. So I think it's a smart move. So, and it's just something that probably the Cyclones didn't have the luxury of having previously. I mean, obviously Lipsy's capable of doing all that. It's just that you don't always have the personnel to pass off that on ball duty to somebody else, and that's where Killian Torre has just been a blessing for this team.
Well, you definitely were never going to see Keyshawn Gilbert run through screens the way Lipsy was.
No.
And the running joke for the last 2 years is he either runs the ball up the court or he walks it up like he's 70 years old with arthritis and every single one of his bones the way he looks and walks. So it's nice to kind of see him get to kind of play a little more open and free, and they clearly haven't lost a step on the defensive end with who they've brought on, and how they're kind of how they're playing still. I mean, they got long guys like across the board.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
experience is key. Him being very, very productive, everything's slowing down, making the right plays. It's great to see someone making tremendous strides.
Yeah, and Torrey's he's kind of stepped into the role of where Lipsy was when he was a freshman. Granted, there's not an injury that has forced him to kind of step into that role. He's just kind of naturally. They've kind of almost planned for it, and it's kind of another year of seeing what Otzelberger. What is he's kind of a coach where you really see what he learns every year from himself and the teams he puts together. He just always seems to come back better every year. Granted, that's not always going to lead to more postseason success, but just the way the team plays overall, like you can see where they address issues that they've had in previous seasons, and I think he's done it again. Bringing in Buchanan, and then the supporting guys around. Your big three.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Buchanan. It's clear. I think one of the things that we talked at length about in the off season, or in the preseason, I guess, was how one of the things that Otzelberger was still working on, kind of his white whale, was trying to find the 5-man that fits his kind of what he wants to do. Now, obviously, Buchanan's not a stretch 5 from a shooting perspective, so maybe that's still a piece that's missing. But it's clear that Buchanan's at this point in his career one of the best bigs that Otzelberger has deployed out there in relation to what Otzelberger wants to do. So,
Absolutely,
I think you had said something about how Buchanan's been he's been doing these putback dunks, and it's just not something that we've seen a whole lot of from Iowa State big men, and it seems like it's something that's going to be continuing all year. So yeah, it's really exciting to see what he kind of was a little under the radar, just because I know that Iowa State had some very public recruiting misses when it came to that position, and frankly, Buchanan was kind of your consolation prize, so there wasn't a whole lot of excitement around him. But now that the dust has settled, it's obviously you'd prefer to have Oscar Clough out there, but Buchanan's doing a damn fine job.
Yep, I think we're the ones that look stupid now at this point. We were kind of asking everybody, what happened? How did we miss out on this guy? And we'll get a chance to see him here in about 3 or 4 weeks. I'm not really sure where Purdue plays, so we're gonna say Purdue City.
West Lafayette.
Whatever. That's what you mean. That's what you mean to me. Purdue. We're gonna come in there and
Robert, you're so good.
I think we need to clip that and put it on the Facebook page.
Make it a T-shirt.
Yes, Purdue plays in West Lafayette, Indiana.
I couldn't even point that out on a map to you.
It's on the western side of Indiana.
I would hope so. It's got West in the name.
Yeah. Well,
not near Gary, Indiana, Josh.
No, not near Gary, Indiana. Although it's South Bend, Indiana is almost in the very northern part of the state, so Indiana's a little fucked up like that.
I would say if you're in Indiana, you're close to Gary, Indiana, no matter what. Kind of pulled up on the screen here. JT, I don't know if you watched any of this game on
I watched a little bit of it, but not a ton.
It's kind of the ho-hum run-of-the-mill game. Your usual suspects put up big totals with Jefferson and Lipsy. Just kind of what you expect to see. The one thing that I've kind of noticed is Momcilovic is not really come out of this early season shooting slump. However, he has not been really put in a position where they're kind of forcing everything onto him where he has to make shots. So me personally, I'm not worried about, this, whatever you want to call it at this point. I mean, we've seen Kurt Jones last year, quite frankly, kind of play like dog shit, the first 10 games or so. And then he just kind of blew up, and, the rest is history from there. So I really think it's in their best interest to kind of keep him in the cuff. And, once he gets hot, he's going to get hot, and he has the potential to stay hot. So I think you just kind of let him do his thing and kind of ease into it. I mean, you're getting scoring across the board right now. I think they've scored 90 points in almost every game they've played since the season actually started. I know they got the Players Era tournament next week. I believe they play Monday and Tuesday with a third game on Wednesday or Thursday with a to be determined opponent. Creighton, Bakes, I don't know if you want to step in here. I don't know if you've watched them at all, but what the hell is going on in Creighton right now? They just lost to UNI last night, I believe.
Yeah. Well, you got to look at it like this. McDermott has full control of his team. It's going to be a long season. I think we were ranked a little too high coming in, but I think we're a solid ball club, and I think we'll bounce back.
Well,
and we'll see
I can tell you
when we play
I can
Iowa
tell you
State.
what I think the problem is. They got 2 Iowa players on their team,
That's right.
and Owen
But why would that
Freeman
be a
and
problem?
Josh Dix. Well, how good was Iowa last year?
Yeah, but that could be a situational situation.
I mean, I suppose you're not wrong. Fran McCaffrey's lighting the world on fire out east right now. So
Yeah, he sure is.
Yeah.
maybe there's maybe it's an Iowa problem. I don't know. Let's all hope it's an Iowa problem, because that benefits every single person on the screen right now.
That's right.
True.
Yeah,
I think Creighton will bounce back. It's still early. We're just ranked too high. I mean, normally when you're ranked too high, sometimes that can really, really affect what you got going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched them play in that exhibition against Iowa State. Granted, they weren't full strength, the Clones, but I thought they were pretty deserving of their ranking at the time. But the regular season to this moment would beg to differ at this point, that that they were up to the challenge, that they kind of to be honest, kind of put it to the Cyclones there in Omaha.
Yeah. I think they'll bounce back. It's
I think
way
they'll
too
be
early
all right.
to tell
I think
for
they'll
any
be all
team that
right.
we mentioned tonight.
Yeah.
If they
Yeah.
go 13-5 in the conference, they'll be in the big dance no matter what. So, I mean, look at it right now from a football perspective. Notre Dame lost 2 of their first 3 games, and unless the world explodes before the playoffs get here, they're going to be in the playoff anyways. So,
Yeah,
I suppose it's not about how you start, it's how you finish, right? That's what they always say.
that's true. Hey, before we go to the next subject, let's give a shout out to our sponsor, Hybrid Promotions.
Yes, sir.
Also, I want to shout out OTT Records and Self-Made the Label.
Always. Self-Made the Label Music. We're happy to be brought to you by these guys. We work really closely with them. You've seen Spencer Scholl from Hybrid on the show a couple times. Really good partner of ours. Glad to have him on board. Same with OTT. Be Positive. You all know the name by now at this point. Just really happy to be a part of those guys. Bakes, do you want to kind of tell the people about the show coming up here, the charity event? I don't have a graphic for it, but I could maybe pull something up while you start talking about it here.
Well, we most definitely partnered with Nice Enough, Roster Free, a lot of great local artists and a lot of companies. We're doing a food drive, toy drive. Really, just trying to get the community together and take care of some business. Put hunger in the past. Get food and money to the people that deserve it and need it the most. So that's kind of our focus.
Yeah, it's a really really good cause. Like Bake said, we're really really proud to be a part of this. This will be, I think this will be Self-Made's third or fourth charity event this year.
Yes, sir.
We're not just in this, you know, to kind of make a name for ourselves. Like, we're actually trying to make a difference within the community here. Just anything we can do to kind of help out. We really like being a part of that. Between the kickball tournament, the show that we did for a local charity,
Hunger for music.
Yes, Hunger for Music. Thank you. To help provide instruments for underprivileged children, and then now the toy drive coming up here. So just the city's kind of really doing some special things right now. We're just happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, AJ's got a 3-on-3 for autism basketball tournament coming up, all ages as well. Shout out to AJ the Dread and AG Strange.
JT, I don't know if I'll ever step on a basketball court again after what happened to our co-host that still has yet to make an appearance, and Mr. Todorovich.
Yeah, he got that popped Achilles.
So the story behind that is the first night we were going to do this, we had a third host lined up, and that night in the gym he tore his Achilles playing pickup basketball with a bunch of guys, and he's slowly making a recovery, but he said that's it for him playing competitive basketball, which you hate to see, but
He used to ball out back in the day.
yep, I can tell you why he did it. It was those nasty cuts he used to put up. JT, one thing I want to kind of ask your opinion on before we get out of here tonight. What's your confidence level with the Packers here going in, kind of coming down the home stretch? Has the offense kind of figured themselves out? I know Jacobs is either questionable or potentially not playing this weekend. I can't remember what I seen recently on that, but you know, how you feeling about the boys going into you know, kind of the home stretch here?
Yeah, so I mean, certainly it was a nice win against the Giants. You know, not the sexiest opponent. You know, especially considering that Neighbors is out, Scadaboo is out, Dart was out. But for a team in the Packers that was really in a funk, it was nice to finally see them get a dub. Jordan Love played his ass off. The stats didn't look so great just because his receivers had an abnormal amount of drops. I think that there were 7 drops that game, which is very uncharacteristic of that receiver. Yeah, of that receiver core.
Hate to see it.
Yeah, so it's a bummer that Jacobs is out. I've been impressed by the backups that they have there. I think Chris Brooks, I believe, is the guy's name. So it doesn't sound like it's anything long term for Jacob. So hopefully they can get him back. But yeah, I guess I certainly feel a lot better. It seems like that Love is starting to do his thing. Would like to get the kicking situation figured out. It's kind of interesting how that saga has gone, where they kind of went from looking like they had 2 really good kickers to 0 kickers. So I don't really know what's going to happen there. But I guess something that it's kind of interesting, you know, the NFL seems to be backloading schedules these days with division matchups where the Packers, it's about halfway through the season, maybe over halfway, and the Packers have yet to play the Vikings or the Bears. Obviously, they play the Vikings on Sunday, so certainly they have their best opportunities ahead of them. So I feel pretty good with how things are shaping up. They're not in first place right now. The Bears are in first place. Just kind of see what happens to that Chicago team that's been winning games, even though Caleb Williams hasn't really looked that great. So yeah, I guess we'll just kind of have to see how that goes. Certainly, how they play against Minnesota on Sunday could catapult the Packers into first place. So I think they're in a decent spot. I'd still like to see LaFleur make some changes with how aggressive he's kind of calling plays and things like that, and just kind of letting Jordan Love do his thing. I think it's time to take the training wheels off of Jordan Love, and it seems like LaFleur struggles with that sometimes. So yeah, I feel pretty good with how they look.
Yeah, I got the standings pulled up here right now. You said they still got to play the Bears twice. I just don't really know about the Lions at this point. They kind of seem like they're still reeling from losing Ben Johnson to the Bears, which ironically they are the league leader right now. So, it just their offense doesn't seem to have the same ebb and flow as it did last year. Obviously, the Pack is still trying to kind of figure out their run game a little bit, and we're still waiting to see a number one wide receiver appear for this team.
Yeah,
And also, the
I think
Vikings are having a hard time passing the ball.
yes, yes, they
So-
are. McCarthy.
Well, when
gotta work in
you
your
got a
favor.
demon,
Packers
when
are
you got
going
a
to
demon
do.
at quarterback who has an alter ego, sometimes doesn't always work out for you.
Yeah, okay, got to get that done. Got to get that done this Sunday.
While we got these standings pulled up, I want to go ahead and look at the AFC real quick. Are you telling me we're going to have to deal with the Patriots again
Yeah, it's funny.
for another 15, 20 years right now? Like,
Yeah, I was looking. I'd kind of slept on what the standings look like, and I looked at the standings, and it's like, is it 2005 again? Because if you scroll down, even the Colts, the Colts are back on top, the Broncos are back on top, the Patriots are back on top, the Steelers are back on top.
the
It's
Titans
just like
suck.
these kind of Renaissance new era teams like the Bills, like the Chiefs, are kind of back down to, and even kind of the Ravens. Obviously, the Ravens might steam up a little bit with Jackson getting healthy, but yeah, it's just kind of funny how these AFC teams from our childhood that kind of started to shit the bed seem to be making a comeback.
Well, I think the funny thing is with all this is they kind of all fell ass backwards into a decent quarterback.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The Colts
They
came
really did.
across
That's a really
Daniel
good point,
Jones, who was
yeah.
like a broken diamond. Obviously the Patriots drafted Maine, but no one in a million years ever expected Maine to, kind of turn into what he's turned into. And then Bo Nix, who everyone kind of really didn't think was going to do anything just because, he spent 15 years in college, is now granted they have a really good defense to back him up. But if your quarterback doesn't fuck up, getting down the field and at least putting some points on the board, then the defense can do their job. And there's really nothing else to worry about at that point. And then obviously the Chiefs coming back to the mean. You gotta love to see that.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting to see how that'll shape up, because it's kind of like, and I don't. It's hard to say if this was intentional because you're never going to intentionally lose games, but it seems like the past couple of years the Chiefs have been kind of doing the bare minimum to at least get to the playoffs, and then kind of turning things on there. But it almost they kind of got. I guess I don't know what the wild card standings look like, but it seems like they kind of got a ways to go where they're not just going to be able to waltz into the playoffs. So I don't know what's going to happen there.
Playing tournament. No, I'm just playing.
Bring 4 more teams into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Bakes,
Right
I didn't
now,
realize that you got cut
the
off the
Chiefs
screen
are
there.
not
You got anything you want to throw in here on this?
No, I'd look for the Packers to handle business. Like I said, the Vikings are having trouble throwing the ball, and their running backs seem to always be injured. So I think that'll be good for the Packers.
JT looking
I'm
at it right
interested
now.
in. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Bakes. No, go ahead.
I'm interested to see Shador actually get some first team reps and actually get to start a game with the players that he practiced with. So I'm interested to see that. Maybe we could check back in next week, talk about his performance.
Yeah, I noticed that Stefanski came out and said that was the first reps he's taken with the first team all year was in that game, which
Mhm.
kind
Yeah.
of makes sense. He started the season as
Yeah,
the
that's
fourth string
normal, yeah.
quarterback.
Right.
But
But
I
having
don't know,
no
I was-
first team
Tough
reps
spot
at
for
all
him.
is crazy.
yeah, I mean, you would think that
Like
you'd
they don't even
see
know his
something in there
cadence.
at some point. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
At that,
there was a couple plays where coverages were kind of called out wrong, and he kind of paid the price for it every time. But it's got to be something that gets better as you play with everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
JT looking at it right now, anybody with 6 wins that is not a league or a division leader that's who your wild card teams are looking like right now. So you got the Jags, the Texans, the Chiefs would be a part of that. The Ravens are up there, and that's pretty much it. I mean, there's a severe drop off after those 4 teams that I named. The good news is, though, if the Titans win out, they could go 8-9.
they are not ready for any postseason potential or to even perform well in the postseason if they make it.
I don't even know if they're
Yes,
ready for their new stadium at this point.
They're not. They're not ready yet. I promise you.
They need to find a head coach first.
Yeah, someone who believes
Yeah,
in running
they're-
the offense.
Yeah, they got a whole bunch of problems going on over there right now, and you kind of feel bad for Cam Ward because you can't pick where you get drafted, and it's not your fault that you're the number 1 pick, but
You can if you're
I mean-
Eli Manning.
yeah, but your name carries a little weight at that point. Don't nobody know no damn Ward.
Tremendous arm talent on Ward, though.
No, he's really great. He looked really good for a half against Iowa State in the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Yeah, Iowa State probably loses.
Oh, I
that
remember
game.
that. The
Plays
Pop-Tart
game.
Bowl.
Yeah, he was
Where he got
tearing
popped.
them up in that
Yeah.
first half. JT, you and I made some good coin that day, betting that live over, hitting that thing like it was going out of style.
Yeah, that was a good time.
I still have those Pop-Tarts sitting above my fridge.
There you
go. Looking at it right now for the NFC wild card teams would appear to be the Seahawks and the 49ers, and then everybody else at this point.
Yeah, the 49ers are getting healthy. Our quarterback came back last week, and he performed to his capabilities. You know who it is. You say his name, Roberts. You're going to say his name.
Brock Purdy. Big cock Brock.
Damn right.
That's right.
Hey. I know
that's the team's nickname for him. He never asked for that. Although those videos you seen his rookie year when he was throwing them touchdown passes, you can see why that's his nickname.
Yeah. I'm glad to see the 49ers get healthy. We lost to the Rams a couple weeks ago. It was nice to see us bounce back and get a win the other day. So that's always nice.
See something there's some drama with Brandon Ayuk though.
Yes, I did see that.
He's been drama ever since. He's just been drama ever since the contract negotiations. You know, everybody wants to be top dog, and yes, he was putting up top dog numbers, but what has he done since he got paid?
Well, he tore his ACL.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can't just get checks and then tear ACLs.
Now he's turned into a diva. I don't think you can turn into a diva with one knee. Yeah, but he was what? He was
Yeah.
missing team meetings and practices, or not showing up to the. Like, I guess I didn't read the whole thing. I just seen a little
He wants out
flyby.
like Debo did. It's all right.
Well, baby,
Next
you ain't
man up.
Debo.
Next man
So
up.
you ain't Debo,
Next man up.
so I'm sorry. It sucks
Hey,
though,
we're
because
producing.
what sucks for him is that he got all that guaranteed money and then he just pissed it down his leg.
It happens. A lot of people get that big check and then they forget where they came from.
How about
unfortunate.
CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens enjoying their night in Vegas last week? Did you guys hear about that?
I heard a little
I
bit
saw a
about
little
it.
something about that.
Apparently, CeeDee Lamb was throwing up outside of a casino at 7:30, 8:30 in the morning. And he actually came out and said that he wasn't mad about being called out for being seen at 8:30 in the morning. He was more upset about someone saying that he can't handle his liquor. Which, that's my boy right there. Yeah, I might have been at the casino at 8:30, but I definitely wasn't throwing up. I can drink my shit.
That's right.
Well, gentlemen, we just crossed over the hour 10-minute mark. Why don't we go ahead and land this plane and get ready for a action-packed Saturday with a bunch of football and a bunch of tears. JT, I know you gotta make the one final drive up there this year. Make sure you bring a cloth for your dad so he's got something to cry into.
Dang.
I don't know quite what you mean by that, but
It's senior day.
Robert's always saying
It's
something.
senior day.
yeah, okay.
You know, Matt
Yeah,
Campbell's
I
going to
guess
be
it
crying.
is.
There's going to be a lot
Yeah,
of
Matt Campbell.
misty eyes.
Yeah, there will.
Actually,
So.
I don't know if that's true because I don't think there's more than 15 seniors that actually have meaningful time on the field this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's
there's
really that one guy that's I guess we'll say, I mean, yeah, it's always a good time, senior day, seeing those guys get an honor. But yeah, that's gonna have an early morning tomorrow. Got to get to bed here. So 11 a.m. kickoff. Ames
got to get back to the Jack, baby.
That's right.
Well, for Bakes, you got anything you want to say before we go here when I close this down?
I just want to say, man, excellent show tonight. I was glad to see your dad come on the show to call in, and JT, always a true professional. Slim, you're always our wild card. I'm just the man in the middle, holding it down.
Yeah, ignoring all the questions I was trying to ask Matt in the chat, but hey, whatever, it's fine.
Well, I couldn't see it on my side. Oh, you're in. I see it now. We'll figure it out next time.
They're relatively evergreen questions, so.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see him now. I think Stafford's got 5 more years for what it's worth.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna say 1. After that, he needs to retire respectfully.
I think if they win a Super Bowl, I think he's out.
Yeah, I think he should just go ahead and hang it up. He's already done everything he needs to do.
Well, he's got to finish this season, then he can do whatever he wants.
Exactly.
Unless he wins an MVP, then you got to come back. Aaron Rodgers.
Robert, you're always shooting for the stars. That's what I like about you.
Hey, baby,
you're always shooting for the stars.
If you don't have hope, what do we got?
What do they say? The sky is the view, not the limit.
Absolutely. If I see a glass ceiling, I'm going to break it because it's glass.
It's because you're clumsy.
Well, that too. But it goes hand in hand.
And a little rambunctious.
Well, all right, everybody. For JT and for Young Bakes, I am Slim. We appreciate you for hanging out with us for the last hour on Friday Night Live. Always on the Self-Made Sports Network. Brought to you by Hybrid Promotions and sponsored by Self-Made, the label music. We appreciate everyone that interacts with us. You can find us on YouTube. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to start doing that at the end of every show because we got to get this following up. People got to hear our voices. We appreciate you for hearing us out, and we will catch you next week.